Hello, everyone. Apparently, the WWE is slowly bleeding its roster. How's everyone doing?
Oh, fine. Only to find out we have been missing a lot of stuff and totally forgotten what's been going on WWE. I have lost track that there's actually a pay-per-view this weekend. Even though they've said it multiple times, I actually forgot it was this Sunday.
And I'm not going to be able to see it live because I have a convention to go to.
What convention?
TwitchCon.
Right.
Oh, I meant to ask you before we went on the air, but might as well ask you now. How close are you to San Diego?
5 hours. Well, no, 4 hours, maybe 3 to 4 hours. Why?
Oh, I wanted to go to Comic Con, and I was like, okay, I need someplace I could crash that's not the hotel.
I'm not that close, but I'm close enough that you could. Yeah, I'm not that close.
And I can't go to New York Comic Con because, well, my supervisors go every year.
Ah,
I guess we should discuss everything that's going on in wrestling.
Yeah,
what the hell happened?
last 2 weeks. Let's not forget, we also got to do a recap.
I know. So, you want to talk about the Neville situation? Get it out the way.
Well, the Neville situation has now expanded to someone else with an N in their first name. But
Yeah, and from what I hear, those not. Let me explain to the people who's probably listening to this. Probably, what the fuck? So apparently, the night, and we're going to jump around between telling the results of Raw and SmackDown. So stand by. The night Enzo Amore lost the championship to Kalisto, which was last Monday, not this past, which was 2 Mondays ago. It was supposed to be Enzo versus Neville in a non-title match, and Neville walked out. Apparently, he's asking for his release, and Vince is very disappointed in this. And he might not be the only one. Report says that several wrestlers have also asked Cody Rhodes for advice to also get out of their contracts, and one of them might be Nia Jax because she didn't show up as well. Though rumor now has it that it is for a family emergency.
Yeah, it's mostly for personal reasons, but there's also been something that I watched on Wrestle Talk today. They actually talked about this, and the fact of the matter is that Nia Jax, her reason for leaving is again personal reasons, also because of how creative is using her and all that, and I can understand it. Plus, also there's another reason why WWE want to keep Nia Jax, and it's the one that is going to really hurt one of their bigger stars if they fuck this up. And guess who that is?
Who's that?
The Rock.
Oh right, Nia's cousin is The Rock. And
So in other words,
well, it's
you
because
keep-
they're all fucking related.
here's the thing though.
And that's not trying to sound racist or anything. Fucking Roman, the Usos, The Rock, Nia Jax, Alpha, Sika, I think Sione is.
The only mainline Samoan that isn't related to Anoa'i family is Joe.
Joe.
I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't get married to an Anoa'i for the next 5 years at this rate. If he's not married.
He's been married for a while. I think he married a white girl.
Oh.
Yeah, he is far removed from that family.
Yeah,
and the only reason why we haven't seen him, he got injured.
Yeah, but here's the thing though, that one reason why I say that you want to keep Nia Jax and The Rock happy, because you mess with Nia Jax right now at this point, The Rock's gonna be very shaky at this moment, saying that if they screw up Nia Jax right now because of her leverage with their connection to The Rock's gonna be like, I'm probably gonna show up at WrestleMania for that, guys. Sorry, I'm not gonna do it. See you guys next time.
Oh, fuck that.
Yeah.
Imagine they piss off Nia Jax. They could lose the. Imagine if they piss off the whole Anoa'i family. They lose the Usos, their tag team champions. They lose Roman Reigns, their quote unquote main event draw.
The main event draw that isn't drawing, that they've had to put back in a particular stable just so that way people like him again.
Why do you think I put quote unquote around it?
And it's only doing this just because it's all in Vince's head that they think he is a main eventer.
Well, it's not just Vince. I don't think it's just Vince. I don't think it's just Vince. The problem
Anyway,
So yeah,
Well, we could talk about that at another time. Go ahead.
back to Neville real quick. Rumor says that he's actually happy now that. Now remember, this is big rumors. There's nothing official from Neville nor WWE that is no longer part of the company. But rumor has it that he's actually happy now that he's no longer with WWE. Austin Aries sent his congratulations, well wishes tweet as usual.
And here's also another thing that most people are saying that why Neville is doing this is because Austin Aries just showed something. He's getting more money in 6 weeks than practically almost all that Neville did, that Austin Aries did when he was in the cruiserweights the whole time.
Not only
There's-
that, but
There's one other problem that Neville has.
but the WrestleMania payday that neither Neville nor Austin Aries got because their match was cut from the DVD release.
Because it was on the pre-show.
Well, the thing is, they usually put the pre-show matches on the DVD. The problem is that on the DVD and Blu-ray, the problem is those matches are not there. That match is not there at all, which means guess who got bilked out of royalties?
Those two.
Yep.
And honestly, that was probably Austin Aries' big reason for it. I'm honestly surprised that Neville didn't follow suit almost immediately after.
He might not have known.
Either he didn't know or he wanted to really give the company a chance. Because remember, Neville was there way longer than Aries.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I think I can understand completely why WWE is like going to be bleeding superstars very soon. I almost feel like it's going to be the end of the cruiserweight division very soon.
Well, not just the cruiserweight division. Remember, Nia Jax. Even though it's a family reason, Nia Jax isn't happy. There's quite a few superstars I could see looking at the indies and going, maybe I could make better money over there.
Well, it's not the indies necessarily. I think they're aiming for they're aiming for 2 places because I don't consider those 2 places indie anymore. New Japan and Ring of Honor. Yeah, because we can forget about Anthem's dumpster fire. Okay, I think we can.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with that.
I think you go there if you have no market value.
Yeah, but I mean that says a lot about Eli Drake though, because Eli Drake actually has some market value in my opinion. But here's the thing: a lot of people see what Ring of Honor and New Japan are doing. They've got a very good partnership going. Okay, that's great. That's great. Despite what we think about those idiots in the Bullet Club, and I'm not talking about everybody in the Bullet Club. I'm talking about 3 specific idiots in the Bullet Club.
And we'll talk about them in a few minutes.
Yes. I think that there's nothing wrong with going to other federations if you want to go that way, if you want to go to other promotions. Brian Cage is making good money. I mean, it's not super duper money, but he's making good money on the indie circuit. And he's getting promotion through Lucha Underground somehow. He's not wearing the glove anymore, thank goodness. And now he has a baby on the way because he and Melissa Santos are having a baby. Yeah, which is really funny because that was recent. That started about 5-6 months ago, and the tapings are showing Melissa Santos getting in the ring. So it's like, wait a minute. Speaking of which, I think the season finale actually went, didn't it, of Lucha Underground?
I don't know. I have to check that.
I think it has, because I saw a particular tweet from one Ricochet about something. And I think he's going to be very, very happy about it, because that means his contract is nearly up.
And wasn't he thinking about trying to get into WWE or at least one of these other federations?
Well, I think either Japan or WWE, and I think WWE, from what I've heard, WWE is actually interested in him. And if they're interested in him, there also might be what the funny thing about that is they might also be interested in his girlfriend.
Which after
2, 3, 4. Who's Ricochet's girlfriend?
I am trying to remember.
Tessa Blanchard.
Oh, I'm surprised WWE hasn't signed her already.
I'm surprised at the people they haven't. I'm surprised at the people they haven't signed. They've only signed on direct On direct from the Mae Young Classic, they only signed 2 big names. The Pirate that I don't care about, and Shayna Baszler. The Pirate they don't care about because they're trying to fill the void of Asuka so they can look multicultural. And Shayna because I feel they're trying to use her to get to Ronda. But and by the way, Shayna, Jess, and Mia Yim have all moved in together, and they have doggo wars because they have two dogs.
Oh.
And they went to Halloween haunted nights or whatever the fuck, and got the shit scared out of them for 2 hours. So hey, but they made it to Florida, and Shayna's out breaking bodies. But Mia Yim wasn't signed, as far as I know. Tony Storm hasn't been signed. Viper or Piper Niven hasn't been signed. Santana Garrett was never signed. Several others have. Some of the people that were in the Mae Young Classic and were already in NXT. Bianca Belair, Lacey Evans, and I think the Brazilian chick were there too. We're already in there too. But no Tony Storm, no Viper, no Tessa Blanchard, no Candice LeRae. And these are no Mercedes Martinez, no Mia Yim. It's just like, whoa, some of the real big names they aren't looking at. They're looking at this as a business opportunity. And some of these people are just saying no, and which is fine on them. If they're saying no and they want to make money on the indie circuit, why not? Because as Cage explained to me, they're making money, and they're happy. So if they're happy, why stop that?
It's best to make $500 and be happy than $5 million and be miserable.
Yeah, well, but eventually it becomes what's more important, the money or your sanity.
And sanity should always win.
And sanity should always. It doesn't always.
I said should.
It doesn't always, but sometimes but usually it does. I mean, now we have, but with this, like with the Neville situation, I'm noticing that it's not necessarily the people in WWE that are bleeding. It's specifically Raw that's bleeding talent. Because if you think about it in 205 Live, even though it's filmed on the SmackDown side of things, technically it is a part of the Raw show because the cruiserweights are only shown on Raw other than 205 Live, correct?
Yeah.
So really, it's not necessarily a WWE problem, in my opinion. It's a WWE Raw problem because SmackDown doesn't seem to be having the same issues.
Well, it's the running gag of SmackDown. When you go to SmackDown, your career resurrects. Eventually, look at, skipping ahead to the show, Sami Zayn.
Fuck, yeah, fuck.
He no one remembered who he was until Hell in a Cell.
Mm-hmm. Thank goodness.
I'm like, now he just came off pinning a 14-time world champion.
Which I didn't see. Well, he beat Randy Orton?
The main event was a tag match, Owens and Zayn versus Orton and Nakamura, and he pinned Orton clean as a sheet with a Helluva Kick.
You mean the hell of a kick?
Yeah, hell of a kick.
I know everyone says Helluva, but it's hell of a kick.
But yeah, he pinned Orton clean as a sheet.
There you go. I mean, this is fantastic. So like I say, I don't think it's necessarily a WWE problem. I think it's a Raw problem. And so, I mean, the promotion that...
It might be because, and this is speculation, so take this with a complete giant grain of salt. Raw is Vince's baby, so he has more control over it than SmackDown.
He's very hands-on, yes. He's very hands-on on Raw.
So, and I hate to agree with the marks, but maybe Vince's time has passed. They need to let go to someone else.
Yeah.
Because Road Dogg basically writes SmackDown for the most part.
Yeah, and then people got pissed at him for screwing up one thing, apparently, and then somehow everything's okay again. Hell, I forget what they were what pissed off the marks with Road Dogg. As the dog attempts to look at me and will say, "Hey, can you give me the food that you're eating?"
Well, we'll see in the coming weeks, like who else is actually trying to get out of their WWE contract.
Yeah.
Speaking of end of an era, we also got over the weekend the end of the run of Bully slash Bubba Ray Dudley. He announced his retirement over the weekend during the ROH show.
How many times has he retired?
I think, given that this is a concussion-based retirement, this is probably the last one.
Yes, but how many times has he retired?
I don't know.
I think like 3 at least.
Yeah, but I'm sure this is his last one. And I think Devon's still working with WWE as an agent. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
pretty much the end of the Dudley Boys.
Yeah. Well, it's also the end of Bubba Ray Dudley or Bully Ray as a talent, unfortunately, because I think he would have made a good singles talent too. On WWE television, provided he had some direct creative control over his character,
Goals come few and far in between.
yeah, I know, but Bubba has a little bit of pull, I would think, just because of his experience. Hopefully the same thing won't happen with Matt. Hopefully that happens with Matt Hardy, but that's another thing we can talk about in a minute.
He still has to deal with Anthem's garbage fire to get his gimmick back.
I don't think so as much, because if he's lost, if with the GFW deal gone, they don't have as much to worry about in terms of, you know,
their lawyers are too busy trying to find money to sue Matt.
Yeah, exactly.
What?
And all he does is change the name, and there you go.
There you go. What else has happened? Well, we hinted at the Bullet Club situation earlier, so let's go through it. Okay.
Yeah.
During the Bullet Club's invasion a few weeks ago on Raw, one of WWE's, I think, backstage personalities was caught
backstage personality
was caught taking a picture with the Bullet Club. Vince was pissed at this and fired the dude. Now, fast forward to the ROH pay-per-view, the same one that Bully Ray retired at, and the dude's in the audience ready to take a picture with his old buddies.
Well, it's not just that. The assholes, the Bucks, come out and say, "Sorry, we've got you fired."
Yeah, really. I don't think he cared.
Well, of course,
he would if he was there.
If he wasn't, yeah. And I think it was the absolute wrong reaction by WWE. I think that it
unfortunately
Vince,
they did
go ahead.
They did exactly what the Bucks wanted them to do, which was give them unwanted attention.
Yeah. And Vince, I mean, as I've said before, as much as I hate their work, as much as I hate their attitude, as much as I hate the way that they're screwing around with the business, I admire their tenacity to market a bad idea into a bad thing into a good idea, and make money off of it. Good for them. I am fine with all that. I'll never buy it. If someone gives me a shirt, I'll use it for kindling. But they've got someone else's money, and that's fine. That's fine.
They turned the cease and desist into a shirt. They made up their own. They made up a new hand phrase called "One Sweet."
Yeah, and they got which sounds really stupid. And because who's going to say one sweet at a one count? There are almost no one counts these days. And the other thing about that is now, again, Jimmy Jacobs, that was the guy's name, now has another T-shirt for himself describing the situation that he was in. I think it says unemployed on the front or something like that.
Yeah.
And again, good for him. I'm glad he's making money off of it. But I think this is a bad move by WWE. I'm not sure if it was a WWE thing or it was a Vince decision. I doubt it was a WWE decision. If you know what I mean when I say that.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not a WWE decision, meaning that there was a meeting about it. Several people got together about it. Of course, Vince was involved. Da 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 da. No, I get the feeling that this was a knee jerk reaction, and that's something that you can't do particularly. I think Vince is starting to get flashbacks of the Monday Night Wars with WCW,
Yeah,
and
because remember that's what WWE did to WCW. They had their little invasion to rub and mock them, and now how many more years later, and they're the opposite end of it.
at the same time, though, when DX was huge at that point,
Who
that
says a,
that wa-
well
that wasn't that wasn't
outside WWE? Who says Bullet Club isn't huge?
well, yeah, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. When WWE started doing their invasion of WCW, first of all, that was a bit. They marketed that bit. What the Bullet Club was doing wasn't so much as a bit as it was as it was more like a protest. Um
Because to be fair,
and
they did build up the WCW invasion to release a couple of vignettes.
True, but at the same time, it felt more like it didn't feel like a funny invasion angle. DX comes out, they're on the shitty looking tank, and Triple H is, he's got the tank in between he's got the turret in between his legs, and they fire the tank and they fire the turret, it goes poof, and they're like, yeah, we're invading, blah da 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 da. And they didn't actually go in, and these guys actually went in and took cameras inside the building, whether they were in the building or not. These guys, they were just sort of outside hanging out. It didn't seem like an invasion. People came out to them. They didn't go inside. That's not an invasion. That's just, oh, hi, let's see if our friends come out to see us. That's not an invasion. If you're going to do an invasion, at least get inside.
True.
At least get in through the doors. There. Don't go to the arena. Don't go into the arena portion, but get in the thing and record that. And say, hey, we tried to get in and this and that and da 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 da. It's like, come on, guys. Come on, guys. If you're gonna do an invasion angle, do it right.
Now I'm going to play devil's advocate for WWE and say that probably Vince might have put in an order that says, "Hey, don't fuck with these guys. They'll go around," and then you have one of your players go and take a camera with them. So, okay, you want to be an insubordinate asshole? Now you can be an insubordinate asshole on the unemployment line.
That's also true. It's if I don't know how far in advance this was known.
Yeah, so that's why I said I'm going to play devil's advocate for WWE and say it's possible that they could have laid out an advocate saying, hey, if these guys come around, don't take pictures, don't be an ass with them, just let them burn out.
Yeah, and they're not going to burn out for a while. Don't get me wrong; they're not going to burn out for a while, but it's still a problem. It's still a problem. They're just I don't know. They're and the thing about it, I mean, yeah, Cody is there and a couple of the people there, and I'm glad Cody is getting the attention he
Cody
needs.
got the attention he desperately deserves, which goes back to the whole situation we're talking about. Maybe sometimes you need to leave WWE for them to see how important you really were.
Yeah, and mind you, I think that Cody needed to develop his character more and get away from WWE to be able to develop Cody Rhodes rather than stuff that people give you. Now, mind you, part of the problem was sometimes people wouldn't listen to him, and I think that's an issue too. But
well,
you
also
have
you gotta admit that it was what he had in the company at that time for Cody Rhodes was not really a whole lot at the time, even though he was the son of the biggest one out of the biggest name in the past. The way he was booked and all that was just not very well done.
I agree. And like I say, I don't think all of it is his fault.
It's not his fault. It's just that maybe they probably saw him as the one who was like, the word I hate to use is privilege. It's because he was
the son of Dusty and a brother of Goldust.
Exactly. They probably felt that he probably thought his say would have been big, but not really so much. But honestly, because of how Cody's doing now on the indie scene, and now he's actually with ROH, which honestly has been probably the best move he did, is stick with a brand that's actually going to help him.
Well, whether he went to New Japan or whether he went to Ring of Honor, it doesn't matter.
ROH is going to be with New Japan anyway because they're going to still do stuff together.
Well, yeah, but that depends on how the partnership works. Because I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this once, and I'll say it again. Sinclair Broadcasting is dirty. And that's not. I'm not talking about fucking, the wrestling portion of it. I'm talking about the broadcast. Okay.
Yeah.
They're fucking dirty. Now things could fall apart. That could happen. Who knows? I think Ring of Honor is good for him. Don't get me wrong. If he went to New Japan and did what he did over there, does what he does over there, or if he does things over here in Ring of Honor, that's fine. I will bet you that if that partnership falls apart, there's going to be a huge issue over who gets the Bullet Club. Because most of the Bullet Club people are foreigners. But the idea was born in New Japan. So take that as you will.
All right, we have another piece of news. Well, you might have noticed that the Bray Wyatt, JoJo, and Bo Dallas have been missing. Supposedly, there's some family issues going on, and they all got leaves of absences.
Well.
Only to find out it's something a bit worse and might be contagious.
What, you mean like herpes?
I was reading something just because Bo Dallas got something that he would get over it in about a week and a half, but at the time he was sick, it wouldn't have. It was going to be a very contagious one. So they basically told Bo Dallas, "Go home and quarantine yourself." Oh yeah, same goes to you, Bray Wyatt and JoJo. Just because you're together, just
because you're exchanging bodily fluids.
Yes,
and Bo just happens to, and Bo and Bray are brothers.
Exactly.
Gosh,
it's just one of those things where it's like, just for safekeeping, you could just go away. Bray, just come back to TLC, and that's all we're gonna see you there. I wouldn't be surprised if they're actually gonna give Bray his own locker room for now, just because they want to make sure he is quote unquote quarantined from everyone else.
Watch Sister Abigail be JoJo.
Or remember, supposedly Sister Abigail possessed Bray. I don't know how the physical Sister Abigail are yet.
Well, yeah, I know. I thought it would be funny though if that would happen. Yeah, Sister Abigail. What's JoJo doing here?
I'm a little bit scared to find out what's going to happen if that does go on, because we're all going to see it.
What is it now? The Demon versus Sister Abigail?
Yes.
Yeah. We'll talk about when we get to the pay-per-view.
Jibbly.
Jumping ahead to what happened on SmackDown this week. Apparently, Jinder Mahal has a death wish.
Yes, and that's why
wants to take on a part-timer.
And possibly get murdered in the process, because one sane person decided to come out and basically say, "Are you retarded? Are you serious that you want to do this? No, don't do this." Even though he's not really saying it, it's one of those things where it's like, stop. Do you understand what you're trying to do here?
Yeah. Oh, but there is something that could be really funny if they decided to do it.
What's that?
If they decided to do it. Now, I cannot take credit for this because I saw this picture somewhere else.
Oh no.
So this is not a booking toilet thing. Let's say the match goes through. Jinder Mahal versus Brock Lesnar for the WWE title. For the Universal Championship. Well, no. Let's say it is for the Universal Championship. Okay.
Like title for title?
Let's just say it's the Universal Championship. Let's not even do that. Okay. And then all of a sudden we're going to have Jinder Mahal, except they've decided to change the match.
To what?
and you hear three-man band's music. And out comes Jinder Mahal with the WWE title, and Drew McIntyre with the NXT title, and here comes Heath Slater. And in a 3-on-1 contest, somehow Heath Slater wins.
Well, Jinder's saying that the only reason it's not a 3MB reunion yet to face the Shield is they're waiting for Heath to beat Brock for the Universal title.
Yeah, that's
Shield, the Shield versus 3MB. Now that's a match.
That would be funny. That would be funny as hell, and no one would get it, but that would be hilarious. But to have all three of them to have the titles, the big titles of all three parts of WWE.
That would be a complete career turnaround. Like, they went from the Jobber Trio to the Championship Trio.
To the Championship Trio, yeah.
Then maybe you could really do hype up a match between them and the Shield. Like, okay, all three members of 3MB won championships. All three members of the Shield were former world champions. There's your match, even though the Shield murdered them, but hey.
Yeah. But I think that would be. I'm not sure if I would call it brilliant.
More like humorous to watch.
It'd be humorous to watch. I mean, Lesnar would just straight up murder Heath. But
hey, you saw what happened to Kofi Kingston when Lesnar fought him.
Well, yeah, but I mean that's just kind of expected.
Even with the New Day interference, it was like flies going after a steamroller.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because it's Brock Lesnar. You know, but again, like I say, I can't take credit for that. I saw. Oh, and I guess during Jinder's match, what was it? Jinder, who was Jinder fighting? I don't remember who Jinder was up against. I guess they wanted him to do 3MB shit again, so he did a little air guitar thing in the middle of the match.
Oh, it had to be a freaking, what do we call it? Dark match then.
Yeah, I think it was a dark match.
Well, he's remembering his roots.
Well, yeah, I'm sure he appreciates his roots, particularly now that he's in the position that he's in. But you know,
he's essentially the Bret Hart of India right now.
Yeah, particularly since Bret Hart was just as big in India.
Well, I meant the babyface in some country and the heel around the world.
Yeah, and I don't even think they're treating him as a heel around the world either. I think just the people in general are keeping him as a babyface no matter what. What the hell? I'm going back to the thing here.
And I really can't think of any news noteworthy after all of that.
Yeah, there was something that I saw earlier on Twitter that I thought was funny that needed to be mentioned, but I don't remember where it was. I have to find it. But it's not important right now. Go ahead and.
So, should we lightning through Hell in a Cell real quick?
Yeah.
So if I remember,
I'm afraid to go through it just because we have totally forgotten what matches are on.
So if I remember, the New Day versus the Usos, we all got this one wrong. The Usos are now 5-time WWE World SmackDown whatever tag team champions.
Granted, it was a great match.
I would say, granted, it was probably the best match of the night.
Yeah,
match of the night, which was actually kind of sad to the fact that we started with the best match of the night and it kind of went downhill from there.
Well, no, I felt it had this kind of U-shape kind of thing going. I thought
then went down, then started going back up, and by the time you got to Shane versus Owens at the end of the night, it was pretty much up there.
It was actually really good. Yeah, both the first match and the last match were fantastic. The matches in the middle were not so much. You know, and mind you, I think we're free to jump around on all this at this point because we kind of mentioned a whole bunch.
We've been jumping around all.
I mean, Mahal versus Nakamura. Jinder I think had a great match with Nakamura. I think people are getting tired of the Singh brothers. I know.
Well, they're heels. They're supposed to get tired of them.
Well, yeah, I know, but that's that I know, but at the same time, everyone's like, "Oh, well, he get murdered and da 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 da," whatever. I
Yeah,
don't
but
care.
at least it's the first time that in a long time, actually ever, that Ginger won clean without the Singh brothers
Eh,
interference,
well,
without
no.
direct interference.
Yeah, without direct interference, I'll give you that. But there was enough interference that Not Nakamura was distracted enough to get caught in the Colossus, and well, 1, 2, 3. Um, Natty versus Charlotte, I thought was a great match. We all thought Natty was going to win. We were completely wrong, but we all thought she was going to retain the title, and we were all correct.
We did.
We just didn't think Natty was going to use a chair on Charlotte's knee.
We never underestimate the power of disqualification.
And I thought it was a brilliant ending, personally. It's so different because now this is the right time to use a DQ. You don't have 5 DQs in a pay-per-view. This was the right time to use a disqualification. She's desperate enough to keep her title. The cat girl's losing her mind. This is the title that she wants. This is the title that makes her, so I think that's fantastic. And having her lose via DQ was fine because now that sets it up for Survivor Series. That's fine. I'm okay with that. I'm good with that. So I think there were some people that I talked about. They were, oh, that ending sucked, and Natty was boring, and this and that. And I'm like, are you kidding me? This is the first time she's actually gone as crazy as she has, and I think it adds depth to the Natalya character, particularly with how desperate she is to keep that title. So I thought it was a decent match. I mean, not it was kind of that weird U and kind of W shape in there because it kind of went up a little bit with Natty and Flair, but then it sort of came crashing down also because we had Orton versus Rusev.
AKA the inevitable RKO out of nowhere
No,
match.
out of nowhere match. Yeah, we had Rude versus Ziggler, which was the inevitable
The
Impact
inevitable Impact
DDT out of
DDT.
everywhere match. Which we expected, and somehow they're trying to keep that going.
Because now they fought again and Ziggler got his win back, so uh
And now, and then the fucking
I know Ziggler's like the opening shot for all new coming talent going to SmackDown, but if Ziggler I won't be surprised if rumor has it that Ziggler is one of those people talking to Cody about getting out WWE for a while.
Would not surprise me one bit.
no,
Then again, I can also add Zack Ryder's name to that list, but let's keep going.
yeah.
Oh, I found something.
Uh-oh.
A wrestling match with Elmo.
Anyway,
Yeah,
Styles versus Corbin got turned into a three-way into a triple threat.
with
And what the fuck, dude? Don't do that on the day of the match.
welcome to wrestling logic.
Although I did like the little exchange between Ty and Daniel Bryan. That was actually really funny. I liked that. So,
Yeah, but we know why Ty's in the match because, well, Mahal, what's his name had to pin someone to win the championship.
Yep.
Corbin.
And then of course later on to keep the title on him on SmackDown, well, he then pinned Styles clean. But
Which doesn't
thankfully
matter because Styles is now going after Mahal's WWE championship after
the world
Brock,
the world title now.
world title
So
after Brock kills him. So
yeah, so that's fine. That's fine. As long as Styles is being pushed up or kept in the same spot, that's fine. He doesn't need to go down. He's that good. And then the final match. McMahon versus Owens.
And
How the fuck did Lou know? But he didn't. But here's the thing. I didn't think Owens needed to beat McMahon to be made. He didn't need to.
Yeah, but let's think about this for a second. Owens didn't need beat McMahon to be made, but Sami Zayn needed some rocket fuel to resurrect his current stance at WWE, and that's what
I
this
agree.
did.
I agree. The winner of this match was Sami Zayn. Owens got the pin. Don't get me wrong. Owens got the pin. He was the one who won the match. But Owens is over. He's over. It's okay. His position is cemented. People like him where he is.
Yeah, he could have lost this match, and Owens could have been fine.
And Owens
But
could have been
now-
fine. But now you've made now all of a sudden people are paying attention. Why did Sami do what he did? What in the world is going on? You have now put Sami Zayn over in a match that he was never built on.
And he did actually cut a promo to explain why he did it.
Yeah, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Great use of being able to take a match and skyrocket someone else. Fantastic. Now there have been rumors running around that Sami Zayn being put in the position that he was in was a result of Neville leaving. I'm not so sure about that.
I'm trying to figure out, how does Neville leaving Raw help Sami Zayn on SmackDown?
Because if Neville leaves, like, and the rumor gets around, then other people, because Sami wasn't used a whole lot on Raw either, and they really had to use him on SmackDown a bit. So the idea, I think the idea was to make sure that he wouldn't think about it.
True. I was saying, because I know that's the only reason Kalisto won the championship off of Enzo.
Right. At which point he did. I don't think he won it back. Although the championship is now changed. It's no longer.
The rematch is at TLC.
Yeah. Although the championship will no longer be the same because it is now a black strap as opposed to a purple strap.
So, little side note. Now since we're jumping back and forth, Enzo apparently has a posse now.
Enzo's a what? Sorry?
Enzo has a posse now.
No. That's not what I heard.
Well,
that's not the wording that I heard.
Well, what's the wording that you heard?
Something involving a word involving the female genitalia.
Oh.
Because I thought we already knew that.
I meant to say Enzo has some Enzo has a stable now that follows him.
Yeah, he has people that he's paid off to follow him. What?
Yeah, pretty much.
Are they just? Did he just happen to find the guy that used to wear the bunny costume, or?
Well, apparently his paid off crew is now Drew Gulak. I forget. See, this is as much as we rib on Enzo, at least he's giving us a reason to pay attention to the cruiserweight division, which means I actually have to remember these people. And the four of them beat down Mustafa Ali, who was responsible for Enzo losing the championship, and Kalisto.
Well, don't tell me he got Tony Nese. They got Tony Nese with him. But
1 second.
The guy that comes out kind of looking like He-Man.
I know it's Drew Gulak because the guy.
Gulak. Yeah, Gulak is incredible.
Noam Dar, I think, was one of them. See, now I have to look at the clip, so I have to mute my mic so I can actually not get a copyright strike, because I know Twitch now is a one-strike system now, and don't want my channel to take it down. So I'm gonna mute my mic while you discuss things.
And we haven't been taken down because of the other stuff that's been on here. No, that's weird, because I thought no, it couldn't be Tony Nese. It would have to be someone else. As an aside, I am looking at a very weird picture of a very young Eric Bischoff in blue jean suspenders and a Mickey Mouse t-shirt, sporting a really, really odd-looking, creepy pedophile mustache. I'll have to send that in and have you guys look at it, because it's weird. It is indeed weird. Hang on a second. Let me put it up there, and then maybe he can put it up for everyone to see. There it is. For the Discord once it gets into the thing. Yeah, that's apparently Eric Bischoff as a very strange looking person.
What the fuck?
Yeah, that's Eric Bischoff.
I mean, it's it doesn't help the fact he's wearing a Mickey Mouse shirt at this point with the suspenders.
Yeah, it's like, what? I mean, mind you, he's the one who posted it.
Yes, even still, it's one of those things that's Bischoff. What?
That's Eric Bischoff.
Okay,
Yeah,
I hate to interrupt and disappoint you, Will, but yeah, Neville's paid off crew is Davari, Nice, Bishop, Gulak, and 1 second. I know it's 5 of them. Hold on one more time.
there's 5. I'm actually trying to find something else in wrestling involved that I've been trying to find here.
Okay, yeah, Davari, Gulak, Dar, and Nice.
Darn Nice, okay.
Along with Enzo, of course.
Along with Enzo himself. All right, that's
So
not
yeah,
bad.
there. I guess that's Enzo's new paid posse.
Yeah, they got to have somebody, right?
Well, what? Well, I guess they figured if Enzo might be just heel enough to carry others with them.
Well, it's not necessarily a bad thing.
Hey, stables helped build up people before.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, and by the way, I know I mentioned Tony Storm earlier. It was Tony Storm's birthday the other day. I don't know how old she is, but I don't care. Happy birthday, Tony Storm. Where the fuck did I see this? I'm trying to look through my Twitter feed, and I have to remember whether or not it was my Twitter feed or my Facebook feed that I saw this thing on. I have to look.
Well, while you look,
But while you look, why don't we talk about Raw and SmackDown? And even though we talked about half of it already.
well, we have new #1 contenders for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
that's
Benjamin
right.
and Gable. Yeah, because because that's the end of the Usos' New Day run, and they even had a little truce after TLC, after Hell in a Cell.
And you know, that was a hell of a way to end it. It was like, you know what? We had a hell of a run. This was fantastic. You guys are okay. Everyone else back of the line.
Yeah, pretty much.
And New Day sort of got out of the way at that point.
Well,
Which
what else, right now, what else could New Day do?
exactly. I think
tag team for now.
Yeah, they put over the Usos.
Yeah,
they helped put over the Usos and made them better, and good for them.
And it worked. And I'm really glad that they weren't trying to actually get the titles back. They were actually trying to help them. And shit, that's actually one of those things that I just want to see the Usos actually hold it for a while longer.
Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen. Is eventually you gotta. There's going to be a bit of a run between them, and really, I think that's what's going to happen. Is not Gulak, Benjamin and Gable will eventually win the title, but that may not be at least for a couple months.
I still see the Usos eventually making their way to Raw, but right now they're like on fire on SmackDown. I don't see solid, other than salvaging the Raw tag team division. I don't see a solid reason for him to do so.
Yeah, exactly. So,
speaking of Raw, going back and like we said, going back and forth. Apparently, Braun Strowman and now Kane has been added to the Shield versus match. So
and
now it's the Shield versus The Miz, Sheamus, Cesaro, Strowman, and Kane.
Yes, the surprise that we had this week.
And I'm trying to figure out, I wonder how Glenn Jacobs' chances for running for mayor are now.
Well, it doesn't really start until next year, so he probably found time in his schedule to do it, which, big surprise, it's only for a short period of time that Kane's going to be back.
Well, yeah. It's probably going to be that then a one-off match with Roman to get revenge for his brother, The Undertaker, then disappear back into political life.
Yes.
Which I might be seeing possibly till the end of the year.
What if they planned it out right? Sure, we are talking about creative.
Yes. What do we always say about creative?
Never trust them.
Never trust creative.
Exactly. And it's so depressing to hear it, but the sad fact is that we always say it's always true. Anyway, I honestly think they made a good choice by getting Kane back. And this story may seem a little bit out of left field considering it's been how many months since WrestleMania?
Yeah, that's where it gets weird. That's the one point it gets weird. Is like, you think he want Revenge for his brother back sooner, but I'm not a writer. I actually know common sense and story structure.
I mean, yeah, it's been 6 months since WrestleMania. And again, we're all just like, really at this point? I don't know. I could see Kane and Roman doing a singles match. I could probably see him doing it at Survivor Series just to finish that up, and all of a sudden Roman will win, Kane will be gone, and we'll say, bye Kane, see you whenever we need you again. That's what I think.
Mm.
Just be honest. They're going to try everything they can to get Roman over, even with the Shield.
Well, of course. And here's the thing. This is a booking toilet moment.
All
This
right,
is a
let's
booking
get the booking
toilet
toilet ready.
Well,
But
no,
this
no,
is-
that's actually going to take a minute.
Because we have to take down the funny-looking picture of Eric Bischoff?
No, I have to take down the funny picture of Scott Steiner, but yeah.
Oh, Scott Steiner.
I have the no sympathy thing as the title card this week.
Oh no, Simpy. Yeah,
And I can't exactly have 2 pay-per-views up here right now.
yeah. So
By the way, do you need more toilet paper?
no, because it only took me 10 seconds to come up with this. So when the Shield got back together, at the time I was thinking if the Shield got back together, this would be a great way. I did not expect the reaction that they got. I did not expect them to boo to cheer Roman Reigns the way they have. Good for them. Good for them. They finally have the audience where they want them. Let this go through Survivor Series. Let this go up to the Royal Rumble. Let this go up to the Royal Rumble. You've got the Shield in there, of course, big title moment, whatever. And you have Roman take out his two teammates. And then he continues to win. And he comes out as a heel. I don't need Seth Rollins. I don't need Dean Ambrose because I'm the guy. You turn him heel then. Great, because they did that with Rollins to separate him out. Do the same.
Rollins was set to be the odd man out that the Shield disbanded.
Yeah, do it with Roman. Do it with Roman. It would work. People would accept that because now because people have wanted a reason to boo him anyway. They don't want him in the world title picture, but now he's in this position where now he has a world title, a main event title push. People are booing him but because he's being portrayed as a heel, it doesn't matter how people boo him because he's a heel. And then you have him win the world title as a heel. If you want to go that far. Have Roman be the odd man out. It'd be perfect. And it would cement him as it would be an acceptable way for him to be booed. Have him disband the Shield. Don't make it Seth or Dean. I think that would work. Am I like the only one am I like weird or something for thinking that? Or
no, I think there's actually rumor that they might have Reigns be the ones who disbands the Shield this time. Either
oh my gosh, they might actually make No, don't have it be
not
no.
Rollins, Ambrose.
Don't have it be Ambrose. Ambrose wouldn't get anywhere with it. Honestly, Ambrose wouldn't get anywhere with it, unfortunately.
Remember, Ambrose is already known as the lunatic fringe, so having a crazy guy be the guy who does something crazy, I wonder why. Yeah, and it's not the guy that they would.
There's the big rumor about how they're going to break up the Shield. That's actually going to be that they said it could be Dean Ambrose that breaks it because he's actually wanting to get back at Seth because he still doesn't trust him after all this time. And I'm just like, you had the better option. But guess what?
They never trust creative.
Because they will never do that to Roman Reigns because
They want Roman as the good guy,
As the baby face, yeah.
the face
Exactly.
of WrestleMania.
And this is what I hate. It's like you have money opportunity. You have a chance to make this work. And you're going to fuck it up because we know how you work. It's depressing.
The problem is, it's not like this isn't the first time. Look at The Rock. The Rock
Yeah.
was getting booed out of the building as Rocky Maivia. You turned them heel, and he's now the biggest baby. And he's now your biggest draw in a long time.
Yeah.
And you know what's even big? You know what's even the more depressing part about this whole thing? I was watching I forgot what channel it was, but they were talking about how they almost turned Cena heel. They had everything ready, but Vince got cold feet. I can almost guarantee you it's gonna have this same kind of effect, that they're gonna try to do it again, and they're like, we can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. Make him face. Keep him face. That's what's gonna happen.
Well, here's a difference. Cena has always had that mismatch babyface heel style of the audience. It just depends on his opponent and how the audience is going to react. In ECW One Night Stand, he's a full blown heel. Let's not forget it.
Yeah. He could carry the match. He could carry the match either way, and it would work. Roman works completely different than Cena. Cena is a guy that can get away. Cena is a guy that can get away with a lot of stuff. He really, really can. Roman, I don't think can. He doesn't have the charisma that Cena has. I think honestly, in terms of the main event, if they had put him on Raw, I would go AJ Styles. Honestly, I think he's the best worker they have. I think he's the best talker they have. I think he would be a great representative of to push the Universal Championship ahead in terms of a babyface. But we also know that he can't stay there forever because he's in the twilight of his career, and he is. He's over 40.
Yeah, this is usually like even more or less Cena walked away eventually. So
yeah, so
once you get past 35, 36, 37, that's pretty much the time you start thinking more part-time work, if not outright retirement.
If not outright retirement, right? And AJ, I think AJ would be good for a couple years, and then you have to start building other people. You have to start building other people at the same time.
You build it on top of successful wrestlers.
Yeah.
So eventually, someone has to beat AJ to the point where it's like, this is the next generation.
Yeah, and that's fine. I don't, like I say, I don't see them doing it, but
I don't see them doing it. But like I said, like we all said, never trust creative.
Yeah, I mean, I think Seth Rollins is a good champion as well. I think Finn, we'd have to see. Finn Balor, we'd have to see, because Finn Balor is kind of a wild dog at this point. Unfortunately, the injury screwed him over, and so he lost all his momentum. It sucks. It really sucks. But he lost all his momentum due to that horrendous injury he got. So we don't know when he's going to be put back in the title picture, because things have changed. Things have changed with him. So I could see that happening. There are a bunch of baby faces that we could see, and I'm sure that we could think of, that would be a much better carriers of the company, that are not. And I think part of the problem, honestly, in all honesty, is that Roman is a bred WWE person.
And they want to put him over guys who got popular elsewhere.
Elsewhere, yeah, and I think that's the big problem, is that right now, the way they're trying to build things up, NXT doesn't have enough homegrown people to be able to fill those spots yet, and that's why they're recruiting from other places. That's why they got Finn Balor and Joe and Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens and all these other people. Now they've got former Ring of Honor people in NXT. More former Ring of Honor people in NXT that are identifying as people from Ring of Honor, basically, without outright saying that they're from Ring of Honor. Drew McIntyre coming back.
The thing, either they gotta drop their holdup of saying, okay, I know you got popular elsewhere, but we need you to get hot here in WWE, or or they need to start finding a way to make new homegrown talent because
Right.
Roman
Right.
isn't going to do it.
Right.
And like
Right.
we said before, Styles, Nakamura, Cena, Orton, all these guys are at the tail end of their careers.
Yeah.
Either they're going to be only around for a few years and then bound to take their Hall of Fame checks, or they're going to outright retire eventually.
Yeah, and the other thing about that is you mentioned that it's didn't get over in WWE, got over somewhere else before trying to get over in WWE. Um, I think that's a I think that's a Vince hang up. I don't think that's a because it's very clear to me that Triple H is willing to put the
I
NXT
was say,
title on
I
people
was say, look
that
between
got
NXT
over.
and Triple H, and then Vince McMahon. That might have actually rewound up back when we were talking about at the beginning of the show how since Vince is more hands on Raw, there's some people he doesn't want to push unless Triple H puts a gun to his head, like he's essentially doing with Asuka.
Yeah, and there's I mean there's a bunch of things that you could do. I think Triple H is going to be very, very good once he gets into the position of talent relations and booking, well, writing, but booking. The only other person that I think that would put up as much of a fight as Vince would is the only other guy that could possibly make more money than Vince in the wrestling business, and unfortunately, that's Kevin Dunn. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. He needs to go too. He really needs to go too. I'm sorry. When I found out that the whole John Cena proposing to fucking Nikki Bella on WrestleMania was his idea, and that even Cena didn't like the idea until he was bribed with a title run, a short title run. Dude, I was just like, dude.
You think that was built up to something like, no, we don't want to do this but you have to do this at WrestleMania.
I don't think Cena wanted to do it at all.
But proposing Nikki Bella
on at WrestleMania. I don't think he wanted the bit to happen at all. Because basically that bit was that doing that maybe they actually felt that way about each other. That's fine. Okay, if he's going to propose, he's going to propose. No, this was specifically to promote Total Bellas.
Now remembering the part where Cena, during that Cena Miz tate, that Cena's like, do you think I want to wrestle you at WrestleMania? No, if I had my options, I'd wrestle The Undertaker.
Yeah.
Maybe that was more shoot than actual promo.
Yeah, because there was a rumor running around at that point that he was going to face The Undertaker. But it's just like, oh gosh, come on, guys. That's why that's one of the that was apparently a rumor. One of the reasons why Ambrose got pushed down a bit, because when they found out that Ambrose and Renee Young got married, apparently when that pit that yeah, or Total Divas, and that would piss off fucking Kevin Dunn. And I'm sitting here, fucking Bucky Beaver ruining fucking everything again. Fix your fucking teeth, you motherfucker. And fix your head while you're at it.
And it's like, you do realize Dean Ambrose is a private guy, right? He probably didn't want this plastered on every single TV on America.
And that's fine.
And that's fine. If I ever get married, if hell ever freezes over, I only want to invite my friends and family. I don't need 25 televisions.
And mind you, I don't care about Renee Young being taken off the market. That's fine. If they're happy, they're happy. That's great. That's fine. Whatever. Trying to use this for a television deal, I'm sorry. Just no. No. Not unless they themselves express that this would be okay. Or you propose the idea at something like this off screen, and and if it happened even beforehand, be like, okay, that's fine, whatever. There's no punishment involved or whatever, because that's just life.
Or just have the ceremony on, or just have one ceremony specifically for Total Bellas.
Or Total Divas, yeah.
Total Divas, yeah.
Well, fuck Total Divas. Fuck Total Divas. They don't need that.
I'm in agreement with you. I mean, if you're that hard up to having seen this wedding on Total Divas, then at least ask them, hey, you mind doing the ceremony again? just for the show. We already know you're married and everything. You just have a second wedding ceremony paid by WWE. Fuck Total
Oh
Diva
God.
is true, but if you're that desperate,
I suppose. I don't know.
so I think that's everything that's happened the last 2 weeks. I'm pretty sure I'm forgetting something, but remember this is
I'm
Wrestling
sure.
Wrestling.
I'm sure. Also, I think we should just forego the fucking picks this week. We should just enjoy the fucking pay per
Let's
view.
enjoy the pay per view. The only match I really care about, I'm going to be dead honest, is the murder of Emma.
Yeah, pretty much. But that does mean I can talk about two other things.
What's that?
Well, and I hate to take the show off of everyone else's attention, put it on me again, but I saw Bar Wrestling 5.
The fifth of bar wrestling.
The fifth of Bar Wrestling, yes. Yes. Which was the House of Halloween. And let me tell you, that was kind of weird. But I did get a a picture with Kazi's favorite wrestler in the whole wide world, and that would be Rosemary. Which was funny as all hell. I run into some strange people there. But oh gosh, the first match was actually really good. It was Rocky Romero versus somebody, and I forget who the other somebody was. Oh no, it was Ray Phoenix. I should know this. It was Ray Phoenix. And they put on a great little match. I mean, it was fun. They went all over the place. They had a chop fest that would make Jessamine Duke cringe. I mean, it was so good. But the big match that was good because it wasn't the main event. The main event was kind of like okay. Was the world's cutest tag team, Joey Ryan and Candice LeRae, versus Rosemary and her tag team partner, Abyss.
Wait, the Monster Abyss?
Yes, the monster Abyss. Without a beard and without his big bat. I forget what his bat was called. But yes, the monster Abyss, free of the clutches of Anthem's dumpster fire.
He's escaped? Or it's just a temporary reprieve?
Maybe a temporary, I don't know, but he is free from Anthem's dumpster fire, at least for now. And they put on a great match. They put on a fun match. Now, of course, being that Abyss is there. Oh, the first part of it was, of course, it's the usual. Joey Ryan asks, okay, who wants my blow pop? And he gives it to somebody. And Abyss is out there. All right, Abyss, I have one thing to tell you. Touch my dick. And of course, everyone touches dick. At which point he goes, you know what? Maybe you don't want to touch. Maybe she wants to try, pointing at Rosemary. And Rosemary has his face. Like she's partially disgusted by the idea, but she's contemplating the idea. Like, huh. It was just, you could see the gears turning in her head. Like, I know this is going to be bad, but, and I guess the person who plays Rosemary was a theater major. So she actually conveyed that very well. And eventually she yelled out, "I am not afraid." And she asked for the tag. She eventually took him down and whatever. Now, mind you, again, this match does involve Abyss. So obviously there's a back and forth. Rosemary and Candice go at it. Rosemary and, everybody goes at it with each other. Eventually everyone gets taken down, and including Abyss. And Joey's like, okay, we got to do something about this. So he goes over to the side and grabs a bag. And anytime you involve an Abyss match, it's got to be something dangerous, right? I mean, what shit has Abyss landed on? That's a real question. That wasn't rhetorical. Hello?
I'm here, and that question has no single answer. If I had to answer that question, this will be another 2-hour show.
Yeah, but what has come out of bags like that before?
Thumbtacks,
Thumbtacks, nails, other sharp
nails,
objects.
other sharp objects. I think
Yep,
jumping jacks. I think jumping jacks at one point.
possibly jumping jacks, broken glass, whatever. Oh no, he opens the bag. What pours out? And Joey Ryan pulls out a shit ton of Lego pieces onto the ring.
That's another thing he fell on.
And of course, it has to involve the dick spot.
Oh boy.
So he gets dick spotted on. So Abyss gets dick spotted onto the Legos. But it was an interesting way of how it got set up, because it started with a choke slam and he was able to get out of it and go into the dick spot. It was actually a really, really good match. And I forget how, but Rosemary ended up taking out Joey Ryan and getting the pin on Joey. So your winners of that match were, of course, Rosemary and Abyss, of which I have Rosemary's T-shirt, which says Courtney is not here right now. So yeah. Taya Valkyrie versus Super Panda and this is how they build it. An interspecies match. Don't ask. It would make Jim Cornette's head flip.
I'm still trying to figure out what interspecies match is. I'm pretty sure I don't want to know the answer.
Well, it's Super Panda. He's just a guy in a panda mask.
Ah.
That's all. He said this is not an intergender match. This is just a wrestling match. In other words, he's respecting Taya's ability and all that. And he goes, as for that, though, I'm going to make you my bitch, basically, was what he said. And everyone was like, oh, and then Taya comes back. No, this is an interspecies match, and I'm going to do stuff to you, blah, 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 blah. Taya did not have the best costume in the world. Her hairnet tights were kind of coming apart in the wrong places. I'm amazed they stayed on the way they did. I think, yeah, Taya went over Super Panda. Brian Cage put on another clinic, as always. It's always great to see him in the ring. His partner Melissa Santos was in costume as well. She was wearing a pregnancy thing where the baby was trying to come out of the belly the hard way, like an alien chest burster. But the final match was weird because it was the Normies versus the Spookies in a 5-on-5 tag match. The Normies
versus the Spookies?
Yeah, I can't name all the Spookies because I don't know them all. I can name off all the normal people because it was Hot Young Briley, Pretty Peter Avalon, and his partner, whose name I can't remember off the top of my head, but he's also pretty good. It's like Ray something. And the Killer Bays. In other words, Laura James and Heather Monroe. Versus Sage, Nurse Ratchet, Tyler Bateman, who was the most normal out of the 5, some other dude that looked like the son of Papa Shango, and a guy that looked like Necro Butcher, except he was a lot bigger, wearing an apron, makeup on his face, and he had donuts on his tights. Yeah. That match was weird. It was definitely not my kind of match. I would have preferred the main event to be Joey Ryan and Candice LeRae versus Abyss and Rosemary. I think that would have gotten everything over, but it was all right. I mean, things went oddly. Like I say, not my favorite match, but at least it was somewhat entertaining. But whatever. I will be going to Bar Wrestling 6, of course, which means guess who I get to see over there?
Who's that?
Jim Cornette's other favorite wrestler aside from Joey Ryan and Kenny Omega, Colt Cabana.
Boy.
Yeah. Although I don't know if he has a problem with Colt Cabana. Colt Cabana wasn't the guy that did the invisible hand grenade, was he?
No, but I don't think he has any love for Colt either.
Yeah, I don't think so. So it's just, yeah, it's. But yeah, Colt Cabana is going to be there. At least Tessa Blanchard's going to be back, which is good. She's always great to watch in the ring, and I got to see her live once, and now I get to see her live again. That's great. There is one other piece of news that I'm sure Lou would have wanted to hear about this, and he probably already knows about this. As you know, there are many people that are fans of Andy Kaufman. And as many people know, there was biography, uh, a biography movie, a fictionalized biography movie made about Andy Kaufman called Man on the Moon, headed by Jim Carrey. Well, Netflix has put out a new documentary with behind the scenes footage with Jim Carrey talking about it, about how everything went behind the scenes
Really
of
now.
Man on the Moon. It's called, and I think it's called Jim and Andy: The Great Beyond, which of course is a great way to tie in REM. I'm always a fan. Um, but but apparently they didn't want the people that made the film didn't want this behind the scenes footage to get out because it would make Jim Carrey look like an asshole, because he took it a little too far. I mean, I heard about him uh going nuts over the character, you know, like being completely in character of Andy. But I guess it went so far and so crazy that they didn't want this footage to get out. I saw the trailer, and I personally can't wait. It's going to be on November 17th on Netflix. And let me tell you, I can't wait for it. I think it's going to be a whole lot of fun just to be able to see that, because it was so interesting hearing about like what Lou was talking about, but the dialogue and the stuff that happened between Jim and Jerry Lawler, and not finding out about anything until the very end about it. So we're going to get some hope. We're gonna get some insight about this. And mind you, this is Jim Carrey looking at this nearly 20 years from the original film's release. So we're getting old Jim Carrey with the beard and all that. Not
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 new Jim
just
Carrey.
not 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 Jim Carrey not Jim Carrey talking about it at that point in time. It's a reflection of Jim Carrey looking at that film at that point in time.
Hmm.
And that's gonna be interesting. I mean, I had no idea that they decided to do that. And the fact that they decided to release this footage, I think, is very brave of them, because we are talking about Jim Carrey going absolutely bonkers, almost completely as Andy Kaufman and as Tony Clifton. I mean, for crying out, he was out there making sound checks. We want to make a sound check. Nah, is that good enough? Shit like that. I mean, he was outrageous. It was absolutely outrageous. And I can't wait to see this. It's going to be a fantastic. I think it's going to be a fantastic little documentary on what happened. And Man on the Moon is such a weird film. It's such a weird film if you don't get it. If has I'm assuming at least I know I've watched it. Have you guys watched it?
I saw it once. I forgot
You
when. It was on TV and I sat there and watched it. So.
Oh, I saw it in theaters when it first came out.
And I think we lost Reed.
Yeah, I think we lost Reed too. But oh man, it's not a film for everybody, because it puts into place a dramatization of what Andy Kaufman was and how he fit not only in his comedic career, but also as in his wrestling career. And the people that don't understand why this was so important in terms of wrestling and bringing things together, and yet all the backlash that it caused, need to understand they won't understand it until they watch that film. Why that's why that's such an important thing. Because back then, kayfabe hadn't been revealed yet. They let him in, and if they let Andy Kaufman in, that means something. But my gosh, I'm looking forward to that. That was big news for me. I did not think that they were going to do something like that. So I'm pretty happy.
I
And
guess with all that and us skipping these picks this week, guess that'll be a good time to end the show.
well, we should at least say what the matches are, because I don't know.
Sure,
I even I don't know what the matches are.
Let me look them up real quick.
Okay. In the meantime, I'll mention Bar Wrestling 6 in terms of the people that are going to be there. Obviously, I mentioned Colt Cabana, Tessa Blanchard. Jeff Cobb is going to be back. Somehow they managed to get Jesse from the fuck. What the hell was it? The fucking Jersey Shore ripoffs on Now Anthem's Dumpster Fire. I forget what his name. I forget Jesse and the other guy. Kikutaro's going to be there. Obviously, Candice and Joey. Uh, Killer Cross under the name Kevin Cross will be there. B-Boy's going to be there. I have no idea why they keep bringing back Hot Young Briley, but they do. Brody King's going to be there. I've seen him sit in the back. He actually ends up helping set up the ring most of the time, but he's actually going to be wrestling this time. I don't know who Watts is. Pretty Peter Avalon and Ray are going to be back again. Extra Talented, the current Wrestle Circus Tag Team Champions are going to be there. Super Panda is going to be back. Super Panda's a cool guy. I mean, screwy match aside, Super Panda's a pretty cool guy. Pinky, who looks like a chupacabra, but not really. Some guy named Eli is going to show up, and it's not Eli Drake. Kind of looks like Spoonie. It's really weird. Spoonie with a green tongue. That's kind of weird. You should see this picture. Hold on a minute. Let me grab the picture and I'll post it in the.
Well, while you grab it, let me run down the matches for TLC.
Yeah.
All right. Pre-show match: Alicia Fox versus Sasha Banks.
What? Really? Alicia Fox versus Sasha Banks?
I guess because Fox snapped and beat the shit out of Banks backstage, so yeah, pre-show match.
What the fuck? No wonder Banks is pissed off.
Bliss versus James for the women's championship.
Yeah, because they have to have that match.
The Shield versus Strowman, Cesaro, Sheamus, Miz, and Kane.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kalisto versus Enzo for the Cruiserweight Championship.
Yeah.
Let's see now. Kendrick and Gallagher versus Alexander and Rich Swann.
Oh, Cedric Alexander and Rich Swann. Okay.
Balor versus Wyatt.
Yep.
And the murder of Emma. I mean, Emma versus Asuka.
Emma versus Asuka. Great. Great. But yeah, you see what I mean by that picture?
Yeah, 2 championship matches, and it's the women's and cruiserweight title.
And neither of them are the. There's no Intercontinental Championship match. There's no Tag Team Championship match, and there's no Universal Title match. Great.
Nope.
But you see what I mean with this Eli guy, kind of looking like Spoonie with a green tongue.
Oh yeah, give me a second to put this on the screen.
Yeah. That's just like, what? Actually, if he's gone down that path, well, actually, no, he can't go down that path because of his heart condition. But
Ooh, Spoon,
but that immediately I was like, whoa, the hair. If you put on the sunglasses and paint the tongue green, there you go.
Well, that would explain why Spoon is streaming and doing less videos. Maybe he's training to be a wrestler this whole time.
Oh, that'd be funny if he was. Anyway, that's kind of it. I mean, yeah.
Like I said, that's pretty much it.
To be fair, wrestling has been kind of crazy over the past 2 weeks.
Yeah, most of it
So-
was us talking about the news, and well, yeah, thankfully, not much happened on Raw or SmackDown that was
Yeah.
worth a note.
Yes. Oh, and in news that has nothing to do with wrestling or anything else but some kind of sports, um, as much as I like the Cubs, the Dodgers are going to the World Series.
Oh, the Cubs got eliminated.
Well, Cubs got shut out.
Oh damn! What
Yeah.
4-game sweep?
I think it was a 4-game sweep. Yeah.
Let me look at this real quick.
So,
Oh
to-
damn!
to-
The Cubs got monkey stomped.
yeah, they got murdered
11
this
to
this game.
1.
11-1. Yeah, they got murdered. Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Cubs battle out in Game 5 against the Dodgers.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah. As much as I like the Cubs and I would have liked to see them go on, yeah.
Hey, I'm alive. I'm happy I'm live to watch history at least once. After
Yeah.
108 years, we're the generation who saw the Cubs finally repeat.
Repeat, yes.
Well, finally get their second title. Now, if I can only see the Jets get their second title, I'd die happy. But
One thing at a time. One thing at a time. One
with-
thing at a time.
With that said, thank you for listening to our happy little show. For Will, for Reed, who's probably fast asleep. Till next time.